Hey guys, Chris of the Polish Geek and welcome to another movie review, and this time it's a review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I think was a really great movie and I had a real blast with it. I mean, it didn't quite have the same emotional impact as the Ceasar trilogy did, but then again, the Ceasar trilogy had like 3 movies and it gave me plenty of time to get invested in the story and the characters, but overall, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is still a great movie that stands on its own, and it is pretty clear to me that the creators still have some really interesting stories in this franchise to tell, and I'm really looking forward to more. As we already knew from the trailers, the movie has really wonderful visuals and scenery, and it's just so wonderful to look at. You already know very well by now, I'm very sensitive to amazing landscapes and visuals in movies, and I also thought the world building was brilliant, and as well as real interesting ideas and themes, and I'm really like the direction that clearly the franchise is going now, and I'm very much looking forward to more stories. And I also loved how in the places where there used to be obviously big cities, now basically the green overgrown it all. This is really nice attention to detail, and I really love that. As we all already know, the story takes place 300 years after the Ceasar trilogy actually, which I think was a wonderful move on the creator's part, and I also really love how there is more exploration of the lore this time, and also I really love how the history of Ceasar was very nicely implemented into the movie and into the history of apes, and I love how now there are basically various different clans of apes, and the stronger ones prey on the weaker ones, kind of in the style of how it was in the older days where there were different tribes fighting each other. My one issue with the movie is that I don't think the 2 lead characters are quite as likable as I think they should be. Like, the lead character Noah, while he's not a bad character by any means, and I was still pretty invested in his story and his character arc, but overall, I still think he's certainly not as an amazing character as Ceasar, or even Caesar's son Blue Eyes, for that matter. Like, again, I was invested in his story, but his overall character didn't quite have the same emotional impact on me as Ceasar, although admittedly, Ceasar was a really amazing character, so at this point, it will probably be nearly impossible to top him at this point. Plus, we've spent 3 movies with him. Again, I was interested in Noah's character, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you can't help but think that you've seen some way better characters in the franchise before. But a bigger character problem, I think, is the main human, played by Freya Allen, May. I mean, she's initially known as Nova, but then we all learn she's May, and I think her character could require some huge improvement. Like, I did like her at first. Like, I thought during her scenes with Noah and the orangutan were actually really good, and I was pretty invested in her character. But then, in a later act of the movie, this is when I think her character kind of gets like stuck in a limbo, and then she becomes more of a plot device than an actual character, and I really wish they've done a lot more with her. And I also think it would be beneficial if they establish her beforehand, because she doesn't come into the picture until she meets Noah and the orangutan, and then she joins them on their journey, and I think it would be far more beneficial if they establish some of her scenes of her alone and establish more about her. Like, that would also certainly very much benefit her character much more. And then when I said that it feels like her character kind of gets stuck and became more of a plot device in the last act of the movie, I also didn't like how later her outfit became like so Lara Croft-esque. I don't know, but for some reason her like Lara Croft outfit didn't really quite work for me. I would rather have her kind of still remain in a similar outfit to the one she was in the beginning of the movie. But oh well, it is what it is. And as for character development, because it's pretty obvious that the creators have many more movies in mind, I'm positive that her character might very easily improve with time, because, again, she wasn't a bad character, but could work on some improvements. So, May getting more character development is something very much I'm really hoping to will be done in the sequels, because, well, again, she wasn't quite a very good character, but again, I do see there is a huge room for improvement with her character. The new villain though, Proximus Caesar, I thought though he was a really well done villain, and I thought he was really cool, and I'm really glad he actually felt like a threat this time, something that I can't say about many modern Hollywood villains. And also, I'm really glad that there is once in a while a villain that's actually evil instead of tragic or misunderstood, which is another thing Hollywood loves doing nowadays. And I've seen some people complaining that he only comes into the picture like 2/3 of the movie, but I actually think that was very well done, especially that I think it makes a perfect sense in the context of the movie. And again, even if he only came in the last third act of the movie, I still think he was a very well done and compelling villain that worked perfectly for the story. I also think the special effects in this movie are amazing. Oh boy, do those apes come to life. Like, I generally don't really like CGI, but this is one of those examples where I think CGI is simply wonderful. And this is a perfect example of CGI where clearly they actually know and care about what they are doing, and they actually go to great lengths to make sure that the movie actually looks very good. The ending was also great, and they clearly completed the first chapter in a very clearly far bigger story, because it's pretty clear that they very much have plans for a far bigger story, and this is only meant to be a first chapter. And I'm already welcoming that story with open arms, because I'm now very much invested in the story and I really want to know where this is all going. Overall, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a really wonderful movie with beautiful, amazing visuals, epic scale, interesting story, as well as some really interesting, thought-provoking themes and ideas. And the only thing that holds it back from being perfect is the two main lead characters, who could use a little bit of work, but I'm positive that subsequent sequels will very much give them more character development and make them far better characters. But overall, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is overall a great movie, and if I had to compare it to the other reboot Planet of the Apes movies, not counting the movie from the 60s, that I will count as a part of a separate franchise, even though it's a really great movie too, but when it comes to those modern Planet of the Apes movies, if I had to rank them, it would probably be like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, number 1, War for the Planet of the Apes, number 2, and Kingdom I would put in the third place, yes. Below Dawn and War, but certainly above Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But these are my thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And thank you guys for checking out this video. Press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you later in another video. Talk to you soon. Bye!